Hello and welcome to The Good Life. I'm Gwen Wilson.
And I'm Pete Gatwood. First off this month, we want to thank you, our viewers, for your support of the show. The Good Life recently reached over 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Wow. This month's show, we're shining the spotlight on the benefits of volunteering.
And with that in mind, we'll be visiting Lake Wallumboola on the New South Wales south coast to learn about volunteering to help protect the region's shorebirds.
I'll be sitting down to chat with the CEO of the Centre for Volunteering, Gemma Reigate, to talk to us about the role seniors play and how you can get more involved.
And later on, we'll be taking a look at the big news stories this month. And our Good Life chef, Ben, will be teaching us how to cook grilled fish with mango and coriander salsa.
Did you get the sack, Pete?
I'm not sure whether it's the sack, but I haven't been invited back.
Well, I thought you did great. And all the feedback I got was fabulous.
On the Mediterranean prawns.
That's right, with the zing.
Don't forget the zing.
But first, let's head to Queensland's Sunshine Coast to catch up with former Olympian Bray Cheels, who now dedicates much of his time to a worthy cause.
In 1964, the Olympic Games were held in Tokyo. Those games were the first to be held in Asia, and also for the very first time they could be watched in colour if you were lucky enough to own a colour TV set. Competing in gymnastics for Australia was 19-year-old Bray Cheels. Today, Barry calls the Sunshine Coast home. We caught up with him to talk about his time as an Olympian and how he's stayed active and healthy as he's gotten older. Barry, how did you first get involved with gymnastics?
Gee, that goes back a few years. At home in suburban Brisbane, we had a front yard with a fence, and that was supposed to be keeping the children in. As the oldest one, I managed to be able to leap the fence, but that sort of...
Did you escape?
I escaped. Well, I don't think that's any new to children this day and age, even now, but Mum and Dad saw a need to get me out and maybe have something a little bit organised play, so they sent me off to the YMCA in Brisbane. At 16, I was being trained in the discipline of formal gymnastics, and that involves, for men, 6 different apparatus. And at age 16, they had the first national gymnastic titles in Perth, and we did a lot of fundraising and got myself across to that. So that was the beginning of a relationship with from till about 40. I think I competed last. So
fantastic.
A long competitive career.
And what was your first Olympics? When was that?
I was 19. I went to this national title, and at the end of it, they announced a team to go to the Olympic Games, and my name was in it. And I thought, whoa. We flew off to Tokyo, lived in a village, all the preparatory work, a turning point for me, and something probably one of my greatest life's highlights is standing in the arena of for the first time of Olympic Games, being one of 15,000 athletes from all over the world, and just seeing the history of the Olympic flag raising. You were a revered athlete representing your country, and you're all in one arena together, and that was just really something special.
I do believe that you've got something you should show us.
Yeah, well...
And what is it called?
It's called an Olympic torch, which is pretty special
How about
piece
doing
of work.
a presentation?
Well,
look at that.
This is a torch from the Sydney Olympics. There are a few of them around Australia because a lot of, certainly all of the Olympians or previous Olympians had the opportunity to run with this torch, and I did my little run and handed it off to Alan Border of all
Did you
people,
really?
which was pretty exciting as well. But then after that day, I mean, I still had the uniform on. Well, it took me about 2 hours to get away from the street because it had polarised the suburb, and people were coming and wanting to have a look at it and get autographs, and it went on for literally hours. So that whole experience and joy of the Olympic fame and being so close to that whole history and the supreme athletes from around the world was just something special.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The transition into retirement's an interesting factor. The men's sheds came on a little bit after I did that transition, but I'm a great believer that the men's sheds are just absolutely fantastic for guys in that transition to retirement, because it just provides that link with guys and gives them the opportunity to learn some skills, be someone else, do whatever you want, and that's just huge and important.
Now, is this true that you can still do a handstand?
Well, it's a life's challenge. If I've been a gymnast, I've still got to be able to do a handstand.
Is it?
I work very hard at trying to keep it, but it's getting tighter and tighter as the years go by.
Okay, do you reckon we could squeeze one out this morning?
Well, we can try.
Okay, where would you like to do this?
Right here.
Oh my goodness! Oh, wow!
We're joined now by the CEO of the Centre for Volunteering, Gemma Reigate, to talk to us about the vital role seniors play as volunteers and how you can get more involved. Gemma, thanks for joining us on The Good Life.
Thank you, Gwen.
Perhaps we could start with a simple definition of volunteering.
Really good question to start with. Volunteering has recently been redefined by Volunteering Australia, and it is basically time willingly given for the common good and without financial gain. So there are three key elements there, but particularly the will of the person to be able to do it.
What is the role of the organisation?
We're the peak body for volunteering in New South Wales, which means, in simple terms, we are there to assist volunteers and volunteer organisations to match together, to work together. We advocate for volunteering and for particular things of interest around volunteering. We do lots and lots of professional development around volunteering, which sometimes people find is a little bit unusual because volunteering is seen to be just something that people do, but it isn't just that. And so training and professional development is really important. And we also spend a lot of our time acknowledging the work of volunteers and the organisations with whom they work.
What is the contribution of volunteering to New South Wales?
It's huge. It is estimated on very conservative measurement at around about $5 billion worth of effort, and that's conservative. We actually believe that it could be 4 times as much as that. About 1 in 3 people volunteer.
What role do the older Australians particularly play?
They play a massive role, and it's something that we continue to encourage because the effort of volunteers is essential for our society to continue the way it is and to be a great society. And for older people, I honestly believe that 70 is the new 50, and so looking towards continuing the effort that people have made, perhaps not to the extent that they may have when they worked, but giving people the opportunity to continue to participate is a really vital thing. And we've found that older Australians are really committed to making a difference. Sometimes it will be doing a similar thing that they have done in the paid workforce. And then other people decide, no, I am retired, I don't want to do those things anymore, I want to do something completely different. But there is a huge opportunity out there for people to do almost anything that they want.
And the volunteers benefit.
Absolutely.
Some examples perhaps?
The obvious thing is health benefits, and we know very well that remaining connected to your community is something that keeps people going for much longer. So isolation is one of the worst things. So volunteering provides that opportunity to be connected, to make new friends, to retain old friends. So health is a really key thing. It is also about providing stimulation, both physical and mental. And again, that is a health benefit, but it keeps people really going far beyond those who just stop. And stopping is really not
And
good.
is there a sense of self-worth for the volunteer, that they've still got things to contribute, that their opinion or their knowledge is still valued?
Absolutely, yes. Overwhelmingly, the volunteers I speak to say that is a really key thing. So being part of a community and part of a feeling like you're making a contribution, but also remaining valued within that space. So it's important that people feel like they have got something that is making a contribution.
Because your skills don't just expire the day you leave the paid workforce.
That's right.
What does the future look like for volunteering? Recent
Studies from the Bureau of Statistics have suggested that volunteering is declining, which is worrying. As you know, we have an ageing population and we're going to need more and more people to assist others. So,
can it be something as simple as that, though, that our population is ageing and younger people who have jobs are... Everybody's so busy these days that pool of people who might have had the mindset of volunteering is diminishing because they're becoming people who need assistance themselves.
People are reporting that they're time poor, and that goes across all age groups as well. Even retired people are time poor.
Tell me about it.
I think what we have to do, we all as a society, have to make it easier for people to volunteer. Don't put obstacles in the way and remove some if we can, so that people are able to do the things that they want to do. We know that people want to volunteer. They absolutely do. It is that difficulty with the time that they have. So creating opportunities for people to do things differently, not have to physically go somewhere every week to do the volunteering activity. We can make different ways for people to be able to engage in that way and stay connected and make that contribution that they want to.
So, for our viewers' benefit, are there some? Can you talk about some ways that they can volunteer?
As I said before, there are almost as many opportunities for volunteering as people have imagination. So I would suggest to the viewers, if they have a particular love of something, it might be a leisure activity or not. It could be a skilled, something that they have taken from their workplace and are now not practicing that anymore, that they contact their local volunteer centre to find out what roles are available. And you will find that there are so many different opportunities. It really is just about saying, gee, I think I'd like to go and read books at the local library.
All right, Gemma, well, that's really fabulous.
Thanks,
really
Gwen.
Food for thought.
Great.
Thank
you very much.
If you'd like to volunteer as a reporter for The Good Life, we're always on the hunt for people with adventurous personalities who are comfortable in front of the camera. If that sounds like you, get in touch with us by emailing thegoodlife@relativity.com.au. So, Gwen, are you comfortable in front of the camera?
Not really. Does it show?
No, not at all. But you are a volunteer, and I don't know whether the people watching know that we are volunteers.
No, that's right. We're volunteers, and we haven't been to training school, and
Do you think
never
that
read a
shows?
teleprompter before. Does any of this show?
But why did you volunteer?
Oh, to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
Do something new, get out of my comfort zone, and who knows where it's going to lead to.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Yeah. It's the challenge. I enjoy the challenge.
Yes.
And learning something new. I think that's a big part of being a volunteer, perhaps.
That's right.
I mean, some people volunteer because they're passionate about things, but other people volunteer like we have because we're pushing the boundaries a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Try anything
Well,
once.
good on you.
Yes, and good on you.
Thanks.
And now we head to the south coast of New South Wales to chat with retiree Frances Bray about her passion for volunteering.
One of the questions that leaves a lot of recently retired people scratching their heads is what to do with all that newly discovered spare time. A great way to fill that time is to volunteer for a cause or organisation you are passionate about. Frances Bray has spent over 12 years volunteering for the South Coast Shorebird Recovery Program helping to reduce the rate of decline in bird populations at Lake Wallumboola. So Francis, how did you get involved in the shorebird recovery program?
Well, I've had a long passion for conserving Lake Wallumboola since 1989, and I used to watch the shorebirds, the migratory birds coming here to Lake Wallumboola, and one day I came across a little tern nest.
Right.
And we managed to care for that little tern pair and their 2 eggs and then chicks, and 1 fledgling lasted to fly away on its first migration. And from that point on, I've been the volunteer coordinator here at Lake Wallumboola for the little tern nesting site as part of the National Parks and Wildlife Service shorebird recovery program.
What's your role in the program?
Well, my role is basically to work with the other volunteers and National Parks and Wildlife Service, first of all, to identify when the little terns arrive here on their migration, often at the end of October, to watch their behaviour and notice when they're nesting, and keeping a record of all that. What we also do is work very hard to monitor what's happening with threats to the little terns. We actually install most of the protective measures here on the beach.
Okay.
Also, we have a big role in community education here at Lake Wallumboola, talking to the beach visitors, and particularly asking people with dogs to keep away, because dogs as well as foxes can easily sniff out nests and do some damage. So it's a great variety of work that we do here.
What sort of people do you get involved in saving the shorebirds? Who's involved in this program?
Well, we have a diverse range of staff and volunteers, but our program is heavily dependent on volunteers, and they come from various backgrounds. But the type of time and skills required mean that a lot of our volunteers are retirees and local residents on the South Coast.
Like, is it tough physical work?
No, not at all. I think that's the beauty about the shorebird program, is that you can commit as much as you like and you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
And it's about committing as little as doing a walk along the beach and identifying the nesting sites, or if you're inclined, you can contribute something more active and help erect temporary fencing and signage. There's a diverse range of activities that shorebird volunteers get involved in.
As you can see, volunteering can be an incredibly rewarding way to fill those empty hours, keep you active and engaged with something you are passionate about. If you live on the New South Wales South Coast and want to volunteer for the South Coast Shorebird Recovery Program, you can contact Simon at the number and email address at the bottom of the screen.
And now we look at the big news stories affecting older Australians this month. A review of the Medicare benefits scheme has recommended the removal of 23 tests and procedures, including ear, nose and throat surgeries and diagnostic imaging. Federal Health Minister Susan Ley says the proposed shake-up aims to remove out-of-date and lower volume items, while the Australian Medical Association argues that the changes will leave patients financially worse off. The planned cuts come on the back of changes to the pharmaceutical benefits scheme, which saw 17 items removed from the list from January 1 this year, including antacids and paracetamol. Talk to your GP or pharmacist about what you can do to reduce the costs of your prescriptions. A study funded by IRT Foundation and conducted by the University of Adelaide has found that senior citizens are embracing the city's public transport system in order to stay active and socially engaged.
Researchers found that because of Adelaide's free public transport, 150,000 senior citizens per week were able to attend life-enriching activities such as volunteering, going to the movies, visiting friends, other social engagements, or even just a day out in the city.
Study leader Dr. Helen Feist says improved mobility provides older people with a sense of independence and control, as well as a feeling of belonging, which is critical to people's well-being in later life. And finally, Australia's longest-serving Emergency Department Director, Professor Gordian Fulda, has been named the 2016 Senior Australian of the Year. 67-year-old Professor Fulda has been the Director of Emergency at St Vincent Hospital and Sydney Hospital for more than 3 decades and is passionately outspoken about the scourge of ice and alcohol-fuelled violence. He edged out an impressive pool of finalists, representing older Australians who are continuing to excel in a wide variety of fields. You can read all their incredible stories by visiting the Australian of the Year website at australianoftheyear.org.au. And now we go to our cooking segment. This month we sent Pete to learn how to perfectly grill fish.
Here we are in our brand new Good Life kitchen, and we have our chef back, our Good Life chef Ben. Welcome back, Ben.
Thank you very much.
And what are we cooking today?
Today, Peter, we've got some nice Australian snapper with Asian greens, and I've got a mango and coriander salsa.
Fantastic.
So, very fresh,
Yep.
easy to make. All right, so what we've got first,
Yep.
I've got a couple of pieces of snapper fillet. Now, I've asked the fishmonger to fillet them off the bone, but there's still a couple of things we need to finish off. So in the snapper, there's always a bit of bone coming through the centre. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. So just be careful, get a sharp knife, just find the centre, and just trim that little piece out. I've got the fish ready there, I'll put that aside. Now, so we just literally take the mango, we find the seed on the side, and we just take it. And you'll follow it around a couple of times, and you'll get it. Cut them in half. Now this is the fun bit where we get to fillet. So literally give it a bit of a squeeze with your knife, a bit of pressure down, and you just follow it around. Okay, give it a bit of squeeze.
It's such a summer smell, isn't it, mango?
Well, this is why. You can do this on a pan.
Yep.
You can do it on a barbecue, but it is quite easy to do. Need to trim them up, So just, and some strips.
Yep.
So I've got some coriander here, Peter. So we'll just give it a rough chop, you know, nice and easy.
Yep. Oh, again, the smell coming from that is just
It
so
does.
fresh. Yeah,
It is.
I just love coriander. And you stalks and all? You don't cut the stalks off?
No, not really. This is a very simple dish, so a bit rustic and such, and the salsa is usually that way.
Yep.
But also got some little cherry tomatoes. Now you can do these whole, or just quickly give them a chop. Now the one thing with fish, and I suppose the majority of things we cook with, we try and obviously reduce in our diet the amount of salt we have.
Yep.
But fish, you need a little bit of
I
seasoning.
totally agree.
Some salt, some pepper, it helps immensely. Basically salsa, this is the fun bit.
Yep, great.
Everything goes in. Get your hands dirty. Get in there and have fun. So, you got your Spanish onion.
A whole lot?
Oh yeah, I suppose we can throw that whole lot. I like Spanish onion.
So do I.
So you got the cucumber there.
Yep,
So,
beautiful.
Yeah, throw the whole
lot.
in. And I've got some diced capsicum.
Yep.
Throw it in.
All right.
So,
Salt and pepper?
Salt, yeah. Cracked pepper.
Say when.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
good.
That's it. So I've got some garlic. Take you to crush some garlic.
Oh yes, I love crushing garlic.
That's it. Just one clove of garlic's plenty.
Yeah, okay.
It's quite a strong flavour.
Yep.
That's it.
Nice sharp knife too.
It is
How
very
important?
sharp.
How important is that to have sharp knives?
Oh, listen, you might as well stay home if you haven't got a sharp knife.
Yeah. So juice of half a lemon.
That's it. It's plenty. Extra virgin olive oil.
Yep.
There you go.
Thank you.
Toss it up and just put it to the side when you're ready. So now that'll sit for a little while.
Oh,
so we
just
need
the
to.
smell.
So while we're cooking the fish, that'll just sit and that'll just steep in the juices,
Yep.
and everything will blend together and just all the flavours will come out. So we're ready with that salsa. And the pan's almost there, so we're ready to cook our fish.
How's that look?
It's pretty good.
Hey, I'm proud of that.
Okay, so the pan's nice and hot, and the trick with cooking in a hot pan, be careful not to burn ourselves. So whenever we lay any fish or anything in the pan, we do it away from our body. So start, and then just give that a bit of a stir around so it doesn't stick. Because what we're going to do is we're going to use the same pan to cook our Asian greens. Straight down the middle.
Straight down the middle?
Yep.
Not at an angle or anything?
Okay, so I reckon it's time to turn the fish over. So just be careful and gentle.
Oh
There
yes,
you
look
go.
at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, lovely.
It's almost there, so I'll just get a plate, we'll just push that to the side.
Okay. Yep. Good to go?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, a bit of
More salt.
not much. Bit of cracked pepper. And just give them a light stir, that heat through. It's almost doing like a stir fry.
That's, as you said before, just for a bit of steam.
Not much at all.
Yeah,
So
just.
you can see it just bubble up there.
And are we going till they wilt a bit,
Just
or?
a little bit.
Yep.
Not much at all.
Yeah.
It's just steaming away.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to do it.
Nice and quick.
Yep.
And you're not making a big mess. You're not using 2, 3, 4.
No, 1 pan. I love it.
That's it.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, that is magnificent.
So we're ready to go. So if you want to get some
Oh,
knives and forks.
I'd love to. Oh. Oh, that fish is beautiful.
Well, there you go. Snapper.
That's our show for this month. Our thanks to the Shorebird Recovery Program, Barry Cheels in the Butterham's Men's Shed, and Gemma Reigate for being on the show.
The next episode of The Good Life will be available in early March. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Pete Gatwood.
And I'm Gwen Wilson. And we'll see you next time on The Good Life.